say something real quick?
Something
Yeah,
real
okay.
quick.
I think we're good. I'll pull my mic out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been
So,
a while since we went live because Monday was a holiday here.
yeah. How was your weekend?
It's good. Saw some family I don't often see. Took my girls to a baseball game where the young one got very sick and the home team lost. So that could have gone better.
But it's
And
1, 2,
started
3 strikes,
started
you're
a
out at the
yeah.
old ball game.
Right. Yeah, and they didn't win. It was a shame. The and then Monday I started a yard project that I'm not sure when I'm going to finish.
Perfect.
How about you?
Yeah, it was good. It's a good weekend. Lots of time with kids. Allergies crazy. A lot of time out in the yard. A decent chunk of time painting stuff for our offsite.
Yes, the offsite.
So many models will.
It's not that far offsite for you.
It's
Doesn't even
not.
count as offsite.
I have to leave my house and walk down the
All right.
driveway. Will, there's so many
Yeah,
models.
I have lots of gluing to do to get this thing assembled.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. So
Anyways,
with that amount of just sort of while people shuffle in schmally talk, good. I'm glad you had a good weekend. We were off on Monday because we're trying to operate like a real company, and it was Memorial Day, so that's why we had a long weekend. We actually had to just like not discuss it, but it was like, oh, do we have Monday off? There's no one to ask but ourselves.
we don't have an HR style person that tracks this stuff. So we're like, oh, that's a holiday.
Surprise!
Surprise.
So there it is. Yeah, Will, why don't you? I'm gonna get up and turn my air conditioner on so it doesn't get too steamy in here. It'll take me a second, but it looks like you have 3 different critters.
Yeah. At the last stream, usually the cadence here is that Fridays I work on our second project, Deeps, and we talked about how I was going to get to the point where we had some critters floating around on screen, that they would stay on screen as they meandered about, and that I would begin sort of some R&D for the 2D rigging tech that Unity offers that we think we could use to sort of accomplish our goals. So I wanted to start off just by closing the loop there. Here's some critters. They're wandering around on the screen. They're using the PD controller for movement that we kind of went in depth with recently.
In depth?
And
Nice.
deep on the PD controller in Deeps. And so to make this happen, there was just really like, plugging this thing into this thing and exposing a little bit of control. This isn't production quality kind of stuff. This is just, let's get some stuff moving around on the screen so that we can start playing with the rigging system and see how it behaves when it's stapled to something that moves. So I'm ready for that, and here we are. I mean, these critters are the same critters we saw last time. I've scaled one and adjusted its motion parameters so that it moves slowly, whereas the small fish moves faster and is scaled smaller, just to kind of look a little more fun. Really, the meat of what I was trying to do on last Friday was more research into how the 2D rigging system works, and I could talk a little bit about how far I didn't get with that as well.
You might want to speak to what we think we want to do at all before you talk about how far we.
Yeah. What do we want to do at all? We want to be able to, not randomly, but at runtime, build weird creatures like a shrimp with a whale tail, or a lobster with 6 beefy human arms, like silly stuff like that. And in order to do that, we're going to need to, we can't just rig up a character in editor land. that distinction will matter in a minute between editor land and runtime land. So we can't just rig up a character the classic way and have it go. We need to be able to kind of build these things during gameplay.
Why would we need to build them during gameplay? Do you want me to play Socratic Method, or do you want me to just also eat some of this for you?
No, I love the clarifying questions. Yeah, why do we want to build them during gameplay? Because sort of the this is actually fun for me too to test my ability to articulate the project. We want to be able to create a fun sandbox for players to grow weird critters based and influence the critters' growth composition through a variety of ways. So we've been brainstorming different sorts of aspects in this Cthulhu aquarium simulator and how each one might change the way the critter works. Like one aspect makes the critter huge, and one aspect can make the critter toxic, and crazy stuff like that. Does that answer the question, or do I need to say more?
A bit. I think.
What more do you want to say?
I think like super high level, just going over the fact that like how these critters are kind of constructed. You know, we're going to use the term paper doll a lot, and in a lot of games say, hey, there's a paper doll for this thing, but we're taking like the literal translation, not translation, literal usage of the term. So, you know, how these critters are going to be constructed is there'll be a main torso piece of it, and then very swivelly appendages that go on it. And you know, we've both got little kids, and kids do make paper dolls, and some of the fun of that is like swapping this arm for this leg. Mr. Potato Head is like an amazing inspiration here. I've got a set of magnets on my whiteboard downstairs, on the lower whiteboard, which is the one the children are allowed to use. It doesn't have like vital. I thought you were going to save kids have swivelly. so hey, it's good to see you, Joe. So we have this like cryptids set of magnets, and it's all different. It is 529. Oh, the thing says 522. I updated the titles, and it apparently didn't go through. Oh, and the agenda didn't go through either. Sweet, thanks, Moth, producer Moth.
Here's some of the Miro board where we've been brainstorming this stuff, the aspects and how they might influence how the critter gets stapled together. Here was we played a fun game called How Would You Staple This Particular Creature Together with the system we have. Here's a very rough drawing of what the pin doll appendage system
so essentially it's like,
like
it's like a cryptid sort of aquarium, except that it's in a lake or the ocean somewhere. And you know, we want that feeling of like barbarian arms instead of fins on a tuna, and a tuna head on Will, or a Will head on a barbarian. And we're hoping that like we could basically wrap this concept up with you sort of doing eldritch evil manipulation to get different creatures. That's the high level shtick.
And what we have right now is just an image moving around in space. We have some concepts for the different depths of your aquarium, and you can see them in my scene view here. And that's it. We haven't got a lot because this is early in this project.
You're not going to show the Will head swiveling on a green body?
I'll show the Will head swiveling on a green body.
I just realized that you are the second Will that I've done this to.
Uh-oh.
In school...
I didn't mean to open Photoshop.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
In school, when I was learning to make video games, one of the guys in my not final project, one of the midterm project review things, like this dude Will, and I took a picture of him with a helmet on, and we were making we were emulating Smash TV, and instead of Mutoid Man, we had Wiltoid Man, and his head was on there
So here we slapped together a quick layered Photoshop file with my grayscale face on top of.
Slapped together a quick Photoshop file. That's art.
Do you want to add more more detail to how that happened? Because you did this.
No, it was quick. It was fast.
And then I struggled mightily to get to the point where this layer would move when I moved this bone. That's what this yellow prong is, and that the whole system would move when I moved this thing, and that's rigging in a really reductive example.
You say struggle, but like you've literally spent like a couple afternoons at all on this project, so.
I say struggle because I found the interface for doing this frustrating, and nothing was working, and I wasn't getting useful feedback until I pressed some magic button over here on the auto geometry tab. So, anyways,
it'd be like that sometimes. I guess is my point.
That's totally true.
For the real folks out there, there are times when you're just like, all right, I'm trying to figure something out, and the means by which you have to do it, it just takes a while to just like suffer through the UI until you know it. You don't really know it.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure that if I had to rig another layered up file, that I wouldn't struggle again.
Yeah.
I think we have a similar experience with UI Kit where it's like, yeah, we sort of know how to get what we want eventually out of it, but it's a struggle to get there sometimes.
Yeah, and we
but
try.
I hear you because it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we try to minimize how much struggle there is, but we do not have between Will and I, we have more than two specialists at certain things, but we absolutely have, gaps in other spots. We just have to learn to do it. And with Deeps, like we've been thinking and talking about visual things so much more than we did, than we ever have really on like Cruft is like drop shadow. We've got some shaders going, but like the art itself isn't a focal point of the game. Whereas now we're like, oh well, we put our heads together, we could do a game that's essentially about building art. There's a lot more. You got to go into a lot more weird territory of outside your strengths, and then hopefully become a little bit of a specialist.
So I mentioned a little bit how like this is in the editor world, right? Like I'm using an editor window to rig up this Photoshop file, and that works in the editor. That rigged character can then be used in the game theoretically, and that's not quite the whole problem for us though, because we need to be able to do that rigging, or at least accomplish some amount of dynamism at runtime. So the other thing I've been doing was just going through the actual API for this particular Unity package. This tech for applying a classic bone kind of rigging to a 2D sprite comes from this package called U2D animation. So I've been going through their API of like, what can I do at runtime and what can I do in editor time? So here's all the editor stuff. Here's all the runtime stuff. Basically, if you see Unity Engine, that means it's a runtime module code. And trying to sort of take notes along the way on that topic. That's about as far as I got. This is R&D. There's not always like fun stuff to show for it. So I learned some things about like what goes on in the editor zone. You've got skeleton assets, and you've got characters that are composed of character parts and sprite bones. Whereas at runtime, I think the most interesting thing I learned is that they actually bake all of those bone concepts down to a simple transform, which is kind of Unity's concept for something that's positioned in space. So part of where my head's at with this problem is that it might be simpler to build our own system for aligning and rotating sprites than it will be to go through all of this editor focused stuff. Because like the end game here of this guy is so that I can then take this, actually maybe I should figure out how to do that. But I can theoretically open this up in the animation tool in Unity and, animate these bones and make a wiggly idle animation or whatever. But that's still not really our use case. We're not really trying to animate these things by hand. We can't. Well, we don't want to.
We don't want to. That's not what the game is actually the point. And we always play a little bit with like, how much do we want to bite off making this game? And this is not a game about nightmarish creatures, running around and you like running and jumping. It's no accident that this takes place underwater, and it's floaty, and you can have like water currents and things like trying to swim towards stuff, which is very procedural and has a lot of like humorous, what do we say? Well, so there's like combinatorial humor, which sort of, I think, also puts us in a realm of animation humor. When you have a robot leg, when you have 20 robot legs underneath some weird, trilobite thing, it's kind of funny if the thing's just sort of floating around, the legs are wiggly in a weird way. If we were going for something very accurate and kinetic, that wouldn't fly anymore unless somehow you do something in the game where that starts making sense. Essentially, everything here is a ragdoll.
I was about to say,
with
I have
just some forces put on it.
Very hard at both well done ragdoll and poorly done ragdoll. So any amount of ragdoll going on is probably a win.
Yeah, Joe commented on Unity UI PTSD, and like one of the things, not to go back to Cruff immediately, but like one of the things I was working on recently was just the Chivo UI, and the amount of picking different things and seeing if it moves the right way, and not always knowing why is pretty terrifying. But yeah, like this mood board, I think does capture a lot of what we want on it. Like we want this feeling of just the dread of what's underwater, and then having the player like really be the motive force behind that. And it will be a little silly. Put myself in this little window corner. I guess I'm stuck on the side. So right now we got some fish.
Go on a sidetrack into the Unity UI stuff. I am not like a CSS web developer. So in a way, I'm struggling to learn the paradigm that they built the particular UI implementation we're using on. So
hit play.
UI toolkit is sort of Unity's new product for building UIs, whereas classically it was a UI canvas. It was built on a thing called a UI canvas. I think they just call that Unity UI. And so like I didn't have that basis. I don't have a really solid basis for how like modern CSS, particularly a tech called Flexbox, I didn't have a basis for how that stuff works. And I'm curious if somebody who does have a basis, does have a experience in that tech, here's how they would perceive this system. I've certainly, been on a lot of different Unity forums as I'm trying to find my way through this stuff, and found people who are also frustrated with it. And I wonder if part of it is because they present it to you in this graphical way, but not in its entirety. Whereas classically, you have to write all of this CSS yourself, and you have to kind of load it into your head just to get started. So you have all of that stuff like in random, like already in your own random access memory. Does that make sense? Hey, why did this guy stop moving?
I was going to ask you that. You're such an admech too. Like you regularly speak in terms of like metaphorical machinery in your head, which is all true, but like
it's really hard not to see the world as like coding concepts when you spend at least 8 hours 5 days a week coding.
It's true. I just am surprised that you playing Votan and not AdMech, but it's just me.
Votan are the DevOps engineers of
that is true. That is true. They are the AWS.
Yeah.
Per
Yeah,
Joe,
I've
I
always
haven't
I've always
seen.
been like a hacker, but learning more about like cloud computing and DevOps stuff was really where I felt like I crested a new skill plateau as an engineer.
Yeah,
Canvas game object projects unless the editor on GUI fully coded. Yeah, the code driven stuff is good, but it doesn't scale far enough. The you talk about the IM GUI, that stuff is like nice for small bits, like a little editor widget that does X and Y. Okay, anyways,
the toolkit is, it has one foot on each side of like an argument where there's, you can do some stuff visually, but like it is not visual. I struggle. The war between Will and I is I want to make everything explicit, and he wants to make everything move and scale. And I don't think the toolkit does either of those particularly well. And so what we're learning over time, and I certainly learned even just in the last couple of days, was like the judicious use of some things explicitly having size and other things pivoting around them. But um, I think in this regard, 9 times out of 10, Will is right. But the one time that I think I'm right, it is so infuriating to be sitting in front of that Unity toolkit and like not know how to make it go. I don't know. We could rant for days about it, but we're both getting better at it, and basically like is what it is for now. It is no. We talked about this though explicitly, like about deeps. Like, maybe it's UI light. Now that's not just cowardly backing away from Unity's, UI toolkit. It's also like if you think about Cruft, not terribly suitable for a phone. Think about something like Deeps. If I don't have a ton of menus to get through, if a lot of my actions are like swipes and taps that are at like one level, you think about that when you decide to make a game. It can seem like it's blue sky when you're like, hey, we're just two indie devs, we can make whatever we want, but we like to finish things, and so like a lot of times, I mean, at least for us, for Cruft and now for Deeps, what we can possibly do, including what we can grow into, is like embedded in the game we design and decide to make.
I just want this fish to break again so I can maybe get a lead on why it stopped moving. But maybe we should move on. What do you think?
We certainly can. So we're on the precipice of a new Steam build, um, which is probably, if I had to guess, like the what's that word for the one right behind the beginning or just below the top? I used to use it all the time for the top thing.
The penultimate.
Penultimate, yes. I used to use it wrong all the time, and now I've stricken it from the records. This is probably the penultimate Steam build before we go into early access. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be tested both by other people, but we want to run it through its paces on stream before we send it live, just to make sure. And that gives me plenty of time to talk about all the things that might go wrong. It's even in the build notes. I put a little preamble in there, but essentially now, what quote unquote works is that you go and you start a new game, and you get through the tutorial. Even though you could skip the tutorial if you felt like and just wing it. Appreciate it if people didn't do that. And while the tutorial has not changed much, and we have to add some to it, but now there's like the Realtor and the Chivos app. So while Will's sort of going through doing the rote earning Tim's trust, which is a Chivo now, I'll sort of do all the contractual fine print at the front of it. So the way meta progression is supposed to work in this game is that you go in and you play on a map, you do a bunch of stuff, and when you leave, you pack up the van, but also based on all the stuff that you've got sitting in your yard, in your van, on shelves and whatever, you may qualify for a Chivo sort of bonus. And the point here is that like now we can have different maps that are conducive to different types of activities, or different focus per map. And you could go in, do something in one map that like makes a lot of good sense. Like there's a couple mines, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna smelt a bunch of ore and get an achievement that makes smelting better, or makes it possible for me to build my own forge and not have to find one. So I could go to a map that doesn't have one lying around, and bootstrap up and like, you know, make my own forge, be able to do different options on different maps. Um, Previously, the game was very sandboxy. Has a lot of stuff in it. Has a lot of stuff that still isn't even hooked up yet. Um, but now you go through the tutorial and you leave with all your stuff, and then you get to choose a level. Now, things that can be gated behind Chivos include levels in their entirety, characters. So you might go to farm to table, but not have Karen unlocked yet. So you might want to do a bunch of stuff first, unlock Karen, then go to farm to table. Farm to table could be locked from the start. Recipes could be locked where I have the station, but I'm not good enough to do the recipe yet. There'll be recipes on every station that you can do, but then you may have to get a Chivo to unlock further recipes. You could start with extra deeds that allow you to unlock territory by doing some stuff. Start with bonus cash money. So the aim here is that if you like the game and you want to play it for a while, you could sort of flow around, do different stuff, get better at crafting, unlock more opportunities, and therein the game has some amount of strong replayability. And then also for us, as we develop the game, I use the term all the time, and Will loves it. He never needs me to explain it more. The game for us has geometric growth. If I decide this week I want to make a new level, then when I do that, I am taking with it the contacts. Yeah, I'll mess with them and jigger them around a bit so that they're conducive to the level. But like, I attach contacts from the phone that we already have to that level. I am using objects we've already built in that level, but the configuration, matters a ton. I can make new Chivos that are really like benefit from playing on that level. And so when we build one thing, it sort of enhances the game as a whole. Likewise, if I go in and I make fishing and rice work, finally, now any level that has a pond or a stream in it gets its own like interesting. It's all about the accordions, says Joe, and that's absolutely true. Is like now any level that has fishing available in it has like a different angle to it that you can play. To either just make money or complete an Chivo. Chivo different than achievement. We will attach Steam achievements to every Chivo eventually, but Chivos themselves are a platform agnostic thing. It is all about the accordions, and so that's one of the things where I say that like Will and I have like specialization in is like that kind of building is very normal for us to not only do practically but like think about. Cruft has always supposed to have had this kind of geometric growth in it. Where adding one thing adds more to the whole. It's not really like it's not crazy. It doesn't like one little thing doesn't change the whole game, but it's more than one to one. And that is in part to make it manageable once you cross a certain threshold. Oh, you are ready to go.
I sunk into QA mode. I found two bugs. One I thought we thought we changed this message,
We did, and at one point I was like, "Yo, dog, I was looking at it in editor and it's changed. So there's something weird going on."
Okay.
I would say
let's either decide what to fix or remove it from the notes.
Yeah.
If I decide to fix it or remove it from the, I can actually start messing with that in a minute.
Your camera also went way off board.
Yeah, that's the other bug I have is if you are snug up against the edge of the BG and then zoom out, it used to
grab it.
It used to
Squish you.
scooch you back in, even though you would see the edge, like you would see into the void here, but it would at least scooch you, and now it's not doing that. So that has me a little alarmed. It's not a showstopper, but worth a note. Okay, so I'm at the end of the tutorial.
Yeah.
I have this precious thing. That means I should be able to go into here first and see. Okay, that's correct. In here,
Trevor, the realtor, quote unquote. Shouldn't call him Trevor, even though that's his name. I should ask him if he's okay with being in our game. Did you ask him?
No, I thought.
No, I asked him after the fact too.
Okay, good.
I'll get in touch with him. So the realtor is the person who says, "Hey, like, you want a piece out of here? You've been squatting here or whatever, because you don't pay for property. When you want to leave, the realtor tells you what chivos you got right now based on your layout, and then you can choose to like sign your life on the X and leave and go to a new spot. The Chivos UI should show you with some amount of sorting that's appropriate. What Chivos in toto and the details on them. So like what their requirements are, what the rewards are, and we'll just snuck in under the wire the fact that those Chivo reward icons actually spit text to the info box. So in theory, the game's still a little itchy in spots. It does the loop now. So, Will, do you want to ceremoniously sort out your leaving operations and go somewhere else?
Sure. I was just admiring the text. Make your own magnets and start with 100 additional cash money. Is cash money one word?
I don't think so. I'd probably use it horribly inconsistently, to be honest.
I remember searching all the text in the project recently for that because I was asking that question. These are the kinds of things I like to complain about. Yeah, let's pack up the van. I want that actually, but first I want to use it. What else do I want? I want this. I want this. I want this. I want at least 2 of these.
That magnet.
Oh yeah, no, the magnet's coming.
Why are you waiting to put it in, Will? You're just building suspense.
I
could forget the magnet.
Just messing with you, yes.
That achievement doesn't make the magnet easy to build. I took a little yeast with you. There you go.
I want the grinder. All right. Do I really need 2 yeast? Yeah, I guess I do. Okay. This looks good to me.
All right. What's that checkbox say?
I hereby certify that I have loaded my van with everything I want to take with me to my next yard.
All right. What's the next one say?
No, really. Everything I want to keep is in the van right now.
Okay.
We recently went over how this flow needs to be flipped around so that I see the yards before I pack up. And we haven't done that yet. I think that's one of the other things we got to do to call this accessible.
Oh, we just confetti out now at the end, right? Is that what that was?
I had an idea for that, by the way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just stuffed the confetti blaster with cruft.
Yeah.
But now I have a list of achievements you've got, and those achievements have icons.
Yeah, we need fanfare.
what if I stuffed the blasters with the achievement icons, and that's what's sprayed out at the end?
I would keep the cruft in and just make it all three things or all two things.
If you have no Chivos, cruft. If you have one Chivo, a mix of cruft and that Chivo icon, and so on, right?
I think it should have cruft in it no matter what.
Yep.
Yep. And we need to we need
mix in the icons for the
yep.
Chivos you got.
Yep. And I think we should take this time, even though I've threatened it and never done it, to actually put a gold shiny shader on it.
Oh, like golden cruft?
Golden everything.
Okay. Cool.
That will break the seal on actually doing it for leveling up too. So we need more fanfare there also, but it'll be in a nice controlled spot. All right. So
sounds like a good time for some.
So what are we looking at here?
Lame work.
Someone turned your phone sideways.
Pick your next yard. So this is how you transition from one game level to another. Here the realtor is inviting you. Well, they're not inviting anymore. They're just describing what I have selected. So we've got two options. We've got the simple farm, and we've got Prospector's Pass.
Those are maps that the realtor himself drew.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, at this point, have you? The only character you've ever seen is Tim. Does the list of portraits underneath this say what it's supposed to say to people? I wonder.
It really doesn't the first time out, except that what we need to do is
just label it. Right?
No, I mean we can certainly label it, but there is no tail end of the tutorial that talks about anything having to do with yards. Actually packing the van up, the fact that you're going to pick something new.
Oh, yeah,
we haven't tutorialized.
There's like a whole bunch of missing tutorial content.
Oh, cool. Yes.
All right, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both. So, anyways, these are my choices. Both of these yards are new, with the red new text there because I've only begun. I just wiped my save and everything. Yeah. Where should I go?
I don't know. What do you feel like doing next? I don't say I don't know because I don't have an opinion on it. But I ain't driving. A simple farm. Let's see if it even remotely describes what's in it. Yeah, you can farm.
Get started just about anywhere. Use fuel items to build out a sustainable farm. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. I am sick of this. I want this grass on your new yard text out of there.
Sweet.
Do you want it to say something else or just be blank?
It could be blank for now. I mean, eventually you're gonna be getting harassing texts.
Right. This feels very like, I don't know why, but I'm sick of it.
You're sick of what?
The grass on your new yard message.
No, you see it every time. All right, so all that stuff on the ground is stuff that got spat out of the van. Well, it didn't really get spat out. We do need to do some ceremony around that.
Oh snap! I have so much more money now. Because guess what?
Oh yeah, because yeah.
I started with 100.
Yep.
And I have the Chivo. I have the Chivo that lets me start with 100.
And the Blingo.
And there was a Blingo. Do you want to remove the Blingos?
I do. But I don't think I'm going to hold things up for it.
Little extra capital never hurt anybody.
Yeah, and the game is very much a spider web of deceit and things matching up in a very organic way. So it being a little easier right now is not the worst thing. Having a little bit of mistake room is not too bad. If like obviously anyone who's got a key to this is like someone we know or intentionally gave a key to. So if they get themselves in a state, I'm not too worried. But like, if you just pack it up and leave the tutorial, that could be kind of painful. So at least they could still play for a bit before starting over.
Oh, yeah, packing. So should we do the unlocking of the tutorial? Sorry, should we unlock the Realtor app once you're done with the tutorial?
I'm okay with this build just being as is that way right now. I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be a sequential couple steps at the end of the tutorial. The Chivos and the Realtor will be locked.
Okay.
And then we'll describe them and then have you use them. Per Badger, that was my plan for the first run through too. Hey Badger, I'm very much pondering a Badger character that does not buy or sell things, but sends you texts someday. Are you okay with there being a Badger character that sends you texts? You don't have to answer right now. You can call your lawyer if you want. Basically, the character would be this looming person out there that just sends you information about hard-won wisdom in the life of bootstrapping. I'll leave that floating out there. So, what are you trying to do right now?
I am trying to live up to the level description I read about building a sustainable farm.
Yeah, but
So
but like, do you have any goals in mind?
Nope. My goals are to get to a point where I am
Awesome, Badger.
able to process cruft.
Ah, so even before you look at any Chivos, you're like, hey, I bootstrapped once. I played this game 8 million times. I need to be able to process my cruft. And you're going the cow route.
Yeah, I decided cows. Pigs are great, but I decided to do cows this time. I don't know.
Well, I mean, cows have
for no reason, right? I actually really like how pigs consistently poop, whereas cows only sometimes poop. But yeah, that's
but
there
cows.
You go. You asked. That's my answer.
Yep, cows always make milk, though. So cows are a better financial situation.
What else is I gonna do? I guess I should look at the Chivos, huh?
You do as you please. I mean, honestly, I was actually delighted that you came in and were like, oh, and I'm going to get this part of my business up and running first.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of like a build order, to use an RTS term.
As Badger points out, you've got the oven and the yeast. You could just make Tim proud and go back to getting some pizzas going.
Keep pizza in.
Likewise, the characters are thematically and functionally similar level to level, though they don't all exist on each level. But their actual what they buy and sell differs somewhat.
Yeah. I haven't really looked at that either, have I?
So like every once in a while, like someone's like, I'm buying pizzas now. May not be in this case, but worth looking at. And sometimes when you update them, they change them a bit.
Oh, and I know, having done this Chivo before, I know that there's some pepper, avocado, Taco Tuesday synergy. Oh, and then this is buying. I could sell Sarah wheat flour. That's
interesting.
That's so appealing. Like right off.
Oh my gosh! It's like this one different level has the tiniest little difference in it that you're like, oh, I can change my strategy around.
You're pleased, aren't you?
Pat myself on the back.
Yeah, you're really pleased right now.
Yeah, I am. But something as simple as Sarah buying flour is like, oh, Oh, I could just
No,
like I
that's
can grind
exactly
out
how I
that.
reacted.
Oh my gosh, this game is a revolution. It's not. But how it plays is very different based on very minimal changes and updates.
Oh,
You are stuffed to the gills. I love it.
too much stuff. All right. Oh wait, can I even compost? Oh, I can't even clear out my composter. I'm so chock full.
Got
Thank
three
you.
deeds.
Ooh, I do. This has been a recurring thing. I never notice when I have a bunch of deeds. I'm not sure what to do about that because we do have a whole fanfare when you level up.
I mean,
Oh, I'm gonna need water. That's what.
sometimes you just have to get more and more obvious. Like, there's nothing wrong with us having the text. Like that little window, it's like, hey, you leveled up, is the most ignorable get out of my way window of all time. Like when you close it, we could
Yeah,
leave that there, but when you close it, like have like you got more D's, just explode out of it.
could get loud. Sure.
Yep. We can afford to be a little obnoxious.
I mean, I almost want to never see that pop up, but have I don't know what I want actually.
Therein lies the dilemma.
Yeah, I'd have to know what I want to move forward here. Because like
Like,
I don't like having things that I've got to click to make go away.
except
To some extent, like we wired a lot of this stuff up just because there was zero feedback and we needed something cheap, a cheap vehicle for any amount of feedback.
per,
I mean, I don't know. That's good candidate
per
for following.
Joe, we could make the costs on the yard section have a real soft grow shrink, couple second idle when you can afford them. Yeah, that and they don't light up anymore.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's tracked. We do have an entry in the polished punch list for figuring out what happened to the coloring of those numbers because that just
They used to
broke.
just pop
I didn't
green,
forget.
which honestly did quite a bit. But I do
Yeah,
think that they need a little swell, a little throb
oh, I need more poop.
every so often.
Oh, see, here's the problem. I don't
Oh,
have
I
enough
need
poop.
more poop. Isn't that always a problem?
I'm
How
proud to be
how
involved in a game that leads players
insensitive to the
to it.
IBS community at large.
Uh, is it insensitive or do you feel seen? You know,
I I feel attacked. Do money bags. I think the level up of that magnet should grab things from slightly further away so you don't have to jiggle it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we definitely just kind of like dropped the mic after we got the magnet working the first time and haven't revisited it since. Stuff like that's totally a great V2 magnet thing.
Almost like the kind of thing you'd want to put a Chivo in for.
You voted for? Yeah. All right. What am I up to now? I'm still like not successfully processing craft. I am, however, successfully selling this stuff to Sarah.
Oh,
Ooh, there's one of these here. I haven't seen one of those in a little while.
yeah. Just sprinkled that in Otto's shop, just in
Fun.
case.
Super fun. All right, let's look at these.
What is that thing you were so
I gotta
curious
use,
about?
what thing? The mill.
Yeah.
I think we get a tooltip when we hover. Yeah. Yeah. Stone mill. The millist. Big millin. That's expensive.
It is expensive. It's a stone mill. What it allows you to do is mill things in bulk.
Yeah.
Which might be
Still a lot of
convenient on a
things.
level where Sarah is buying flour.
Kind of want this in a different position now that I'm making a mess of things. Come on over here.
Do you have the means to make yeast?
No,
You might want to pick that up.
don't think so. I have yeast. Is that
Oh, does he not have it here? What All right.
it walked me into that one?
I did. That one I didn't know. I didn't realize I didn't have it. All right. Well,
Can I make? I probably can't make this. It's not really.
does Tim sell yeast? This one might be on me. I might be in trouble. So I'm gonna go look at a few
Sure.
files while you
Sure.
struggle.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm just struggling to get my cows fed. That's what the problem is. Here we go. That was probably painful to watch.
Indeed. All right.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to stop
I'm
selling
terrible.
flour.
I'm a terrible person.
It's a little
All
harsh.
right. That's on me, Will. I will fix that imminently.
I'm gonna have to start selling wheat that I can't process. We have a surplus. This wheat is priced to move.
I hope I don't screw this up. All right. Do you think it's better that Tim sells yeast? That Otto sells a bucket? I think on this level, because it's very beginnerly, I'm gonna have Tim sell yeast. I was gonna change that around. It's like, oh, it's good to bootstrap, but like, I think this is quid pro quo. This gets used in the shop a lot.
Making your own yeast feels advanced.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Oh. 0 money. He's going to be cheap about it too. He's such a nice guy. Actually, he's going to be very dependent on which tin you get.
Oh, Otto's hungry. Look at this.
Yeah, he is hungry.
Before we had Chivos, a lot of my goal formation was based around what the proprietors would buy. Like
Yeah.
now I want to serve you a burger. It's not even Chivo about it.
Now I want to serve you a burger.
Isn't that isn't that what you want to hear?
So true.
All right, so I think we can go for Tuesday. That seems like this level's built for it. I think we can go. We can also try and just bang this out along the way, since that's been how it tends to go. We're also going to just kind of do this once we have room. Honestly, those feel like pretty good goals. That's like a lot too.
Say again.
Oh,
You're
and
going to go for
these ones that's bubbled up.
yeah.
So let's just make those the goal. I know that We've done them before, but this time it counts. And
this time it's for real.
also, note to self: I forgot to cull completed Chivos from the list here, so Tim's trust is forever going to be top of the bubble.
Type.
I think that's pretty quick. I could probably do that in C2.
In C2?
Like in the middle of this situation. In place. Maybe I'm misusing that term.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Correct me if I am.
It might be. My drop down's unhappy.
Oh, I just noticed this. How do you feel about that? Oh, now I noticed. Now I'm noticing two things.
What did you notice? Don't be cryptic.
Well, for one, the edge of the grid doesn't appear to line up properly with the background. I'm assuming the lighter tan is supposed to be inside the grid, and the darker
looks like it's off by a little scooch.
It's off by a scooch. And then what the heck is it with the highlight right now? Like that's not the right.
Ooh.
That's not the right square at all.
Ooh.
This is also off by probably the same scooch that this is.
You mean like half a unit?
Yep, exactly half a unit. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Take a note. Anyways, I don't know how I chose to. I think I accidentally unlocked this one. Didn't mean to do that. Kind of want to save up for this bigger, for the bigger farm plots. It's gonna be tough not to just get this block of 50 right here.
I find myself already wishing that I could mark Chivos and just have them show up on the top right of the screen. Like put a heart next to like 2 or 3 of them, or even just one of them. Yeah, 3 was probably.
You want like kind of like a quest UI up there that's like 0 out of 3 things.
Yeah.
If you make the quest UI, I'll make it go.
There is that what's happening? Kind of vile negotiation. No, I'm not going to pull the trigger on that until people complain about it. That sounds like something I would like that I may not actually need. That I routinely say, this is why we need feedback. People might not actually use it. Let's see. East.
All right. Masa, avocado, hot pepper, tomato. Got plenty of tomatoes.
Builder.
All right, so for peppers, here we go.
You could use it to replace your hated grass in your new yard. Okay, so to that point though, I feel like we could do something like when a text floats up on your phone that just has things float off the phone and just go into a queue up top. And like some of them could just stay. So like if I put a heart next to a Chivo, it would just have a little, whatever the iPhone thing is called, like the thin notification.
I love having it on the phone too, though. Like that's that's such a good spot for it.
Like popping open the phone, going to Chivo's, being like, oh, I'm trying to get the cream chivo, and having a little empty heart next to it, and you click the heart, and then its current state in the like thinned out version just floats up to the top. Badger sends you a text reminding you to hit WASD. Like you could heart that and decide to keep it, unheart it to have it go away. But like if you decide to keep it, it floats off the phone and just stays present. Like in a movie when you see all those texts go by. So that grats on your new yard. That spot I actually want to take up for intermittent texts from characters.
Yeah, it might be able to support both. I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm saying though about those notices is that like they just go away if they're on your phone. If they're on the physical phone. If you choose to like them or heart them, then they would float off the phone and float up and just stick up there until you got rid of them. I've stumped Will.
Why do I you have stumped me. Because I don't know why I need to keep a text from a character on the screen.
Because you care about the characters.
Why I do know why I want to keep my Chivo progress on the screen.
I can't tell you the full gamut of things that people might say. I might think something's funny or want to screenshot it. I might really be playing on an RP server. I just, considering we're going to have
RP server,
considering we're going to have a notice sort of thing that is just text that will allow you to sort of like blankly thumbs up, thumbs down, heart, fire, whatever to it. Having one of those options, just keep the thing and put it in that queue of stuff up there is kind of cute. It's cute. It's got personality. And then I can put all kinds of stuff in, like, you know, Big Biz Bill telling you something really nice when normally it says total garbage, and you just keep that thing pinned up there. I put affirmations in there and have them be worth like legit money. If you're just gonna run without yeast, correct?
I'm gonna what?
You're not gonna save scum this thing, are you?
For yeast? Do I need yeast? I don't need yeast.
I don't think you need it for anything you're going for, no.
No. Do need to sell a bunch of milk.
All right, so I just checked in. Tim will now sell you yeast on this level going forward.
Wonderful.
You know, with all this money you have and all this money you're making, if the DPW is available, you can just trash can stuff.
I find that distasteful.
I find the cultural difference between players in this quaint little game to be so awesome.
Is this an 18 or a 10? The amount of cruft consumed when I use 2 poops.
I'm pretty sure it's 18.
Wonderful.
That's not a good sign at all.
I had assumed it was 18 for a long time, and then the other day I was like, wait a sec.
I mean, there is an argument for it to actually be the other way around. If I wanted to say that you get more fertilizer, just more poop to.
Yeah, well, I got to a point where I had like a ton of composters, but didn't produce as much poop. And so I was wondering, like, oh, maybe I've like transitioned into a 1 poop per composter mode here,
Mm-hmm.
and that felt interesting. And I was willing to do it even if the amount of cruft I was processing per recipe wasn't as much.
I am very much considering an ultra version of several things. Better composter, potentially at this point working on a 60 by 60 level. Thinking about wheeling out the dumpster. For those of us who have no problem culturally using the trash can from the DPW, I think that is genuinely quite cute. That some people are just like, I don't use that. Why?
Well,
I,
some people, I mean, some people right now is just me. No.
no, it's broader than just you, but like several things
Okay,
go
good.
like oh, like that's not my jam. I mean, in the very same way that like I don't know how you live without a sawhorse.
Takes a lot to actually get like a sawhorse going.
I mean,
Okay, Badger's on Team Composter. Good.
yeah,
I'm in good company.
Badger's a good citizen. But I just mean like what naturally comes to you after you play this game a couple times. You're like, yeah, I've learned how to compost. I'm gonna compost, and even in this case, without pigs, you're like, I'm gonna take the hit on the Blood Bowl die roll for poop, and I'll still be able to compost, but I'll be producing more stuff. I'll be leaning more on profit.
So I couldn't buy this tree plot because I didn't actually have the proper
3x3.
Yeah, I didn't have a 3x3, but I had to I had to know that because I'm me, not because the game told me. So I'm gonna make a note.
Yeah. Badger says, I invented the pig cycling. No proof, but still. Badger's a strong proponent of the pig cycling.
Badger, do you know who designed pig cycling?
The guy who doesn't use it. I use pig cycling. I just like I find the cruft score sort of pseudo element of the trash can to be very satisfying. So there's 3 recipes on the trash can. There's like small, medium, and large. And when you get to like medium, it starts getting extremely satisfying to with one click just clear out all this space. And
Dealing with your
gosh forbid if you get to the 3rd level, it's so good.
dealing with your garbage bins is like part of the American condition. No, like this is like it's a big part of why you put them in there.
Yeah. And like I personally like I threw different ways to handle cruft in with no judgment. None whatsoever. Like I love the fact that it's not rote. Like how you choose to do it's got a little bit of nuance to it. Um, and I think the trash cans are in there a little bit preemptively because we know the game is going to grow. You may, if you choose to, in honor of saving clicks, like move to bigger operations, bigger fields, bigger crafting stations that do
Bastard.
more. Oh, what did I do?
You locked the avocado recipe.
Oh, ah, brutal, brutal.
Time for new goals.
I didn't realize how the fallout from that. I can unlock that.
Okay, so I need grass. Well, don't jump yet. Let's see.
I'm not jumping. I'm just looking at the sheet.
Let's see if it's.
It is the hanging participle on grassroots. You could do that. You could do that. You could do grassroots first. There's your avocado. It's right there in the rewards.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just looking at what else I need now. So I need another tree plot. More of those. That's fine. Cheese. Cheese. Cheese.
Your press, right?
Press.
It's in there. It was
Is
in there.
it?
It was in autos.
Oh, yep. Okay.
A bargain price of $10. If it is truly problematic, it was like on the back of the bus.
Let's see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
But I don't feel nearly as bad now that it's on grassroots. What I should do is sort grassroots earlier.
Yeah.
It's in the hundos right now.
I'm also annoyed that now I have these avocado saplings that I can't.
Well, you're bummed. Proper response to anything some dev tells you. I am glad we have that sorting in though. That that makes a proper response to like do sort shouldn't do you mean the shops shouldn't show things that are not available? I might need you to rephrase. I don't want to answer it from
He's saying that I shouldn't have been allowed to buy the avocado sapling because I couldn't um, turn it into an avocado.
yeah. So the issue with that is that like in the case of
Yeah,
so
it's
you
weird,
might
right?
want
Like
to
the avocado sapling
it's a one to
is
one in terms of crafting,
a
but
real item.
it is a real item. In a lot of cases, we would have to go back through an entire tree of stuff and be like, oh well, you can't use this because you don't have this recipe. And if you if you're in this level and you're gonna get that chivo, then packing up a few saplings like is not a bad idea. I do agree with you that there's a little weirdness around it.
It's also weird because you can unlock shopkeepers, you can unlock characters and therefore things that they sell, but you can't say like, oh, Sarah sells avocado saplings, but only if you unlock them, right?
Yeah. Can the chivo just have a hidden requirement to keep it from the top? So what I can do is sort the chivos, and that one
Yeah,
was
he just has a number he can punch in.
yeah,
That'll change where it
what I'm doing
starts.
in the background now. So let's see, that was
That so that won't change. That won't change what happened. I opened the Chivo app and I started scrolling down and looking at stuff that I was like on my way to accomplishing already, and set my sights on it. That Chivo will bubble up because I had what did I have? That I had tomatoes. I had just grabbed tomatoes, which is probably a reasonable thing to do, having just come
yeah,
off a level that
that's true.
teaches you to make pizza.
It's true. It would have bubbled up, but grassroots would have been nowhere near it because it was rated at 103. So it's like behind the radio
Oh,
edge.
I am gonna have to save scum it because I can't make bread to get grassroots until I reload with the new version of Tim that sells.
Or you pick a new level. I don't think you should pick a new level. Let me just fix this.
Oh, it says I'm already up to date. You'll need to push the data.
I know. Oh no, Tim's stuff is already pushed.
What? Why? Double check because I just ran a poll and I didn't get anything.
Hmm. Right now I'm checking the Chivo table. If I look at Maine, Yeast for Tim on a small farm went in at 4 after.
What was I gonna fix since I've popped out here and I'm waiting? Oh, I wanted to see why the end of tutorial message wasn't working the way you expect.
Thumbs up on the deliberate order of Chivos. So meant to drive meta progression. Yeah. So right now it's just like there's two forms of sort. There's one that is just like arbitrated by me. And then the other is like how much percent of something you have done, just so that like stuff doesn't get too buried. We'll have to fiddle with that a bit, but like, excuse me, the one that grants you avocado usage was just like Way low. And the one and the one where you make radios was super high. Doesn't that look like a different message?
Yeah, I probably did the annoying engineer thing where I blew away your data and overwrote something from code. Which is
Wait,
this? The Chivo? No, this is the message pop-up. And it triggers from a tutorial stub. Now this is yeah, here it all is.
oh, nice. All right, that's sweet.
um,
So I put in the uh
gosh, that's annoying.
I put in the stub for it essentially. I'm gonna turn the corner and blow my nose outside. It's getting ridiculous. BRB.
Just Googling the syntax for a multi-line string because I forget. An at symbol. Also going to blow this text away so that we don't make that mistake again.
Ooh, I can add people to the block list through Restream. Sweet. Not that it's gonna get rid of it through
Not that you can deal with best stream boo viewers.
yeah. What's the sword do? How do I admin this? Okay. Go to this. I don't actually know how to block people.
I support you learning.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know. Shield mode.
Oh, why does that make it grow so tall? And is it a problem?
Here we
Is
go.
there anywhere else that a pop-up like this shows up?
I don't know how much you're using this exact pop up for fix your yard, clean up.
Certainly am. I use it for all the pop-ups with a button. There's a different one for choice pop-ups.
That's right. You don't have any choices yet because this game's purely deterministic and OP.
That doesn't compute. Doesn't choice mean that it's
The illusion of choice. I definitely used wording wrong.
How do I get a pop? Oh, I've got to fill my yard, I guess. Oh no, here's an easy way to get a pop-up. Oh, that's really tall. Okay, all right, hold on.
Sent a DM. DM where?
Is that gonna help? Auto.
This is one of those ones you should just make max length.
What value do I set to max? And what do you mean by length?
The height of it, just make sure it never goes bigger than what even looks remotely appropriate. And then we'll just have to make the strings work with it. Or do something else. Like if something's not going to fit in a remotely sane sized window, then it needs to be like a screen somewhere. Like this is fine to just like police the content ourselves.
I shouldn't have to do it that way.
If you don't, then it can just grow like crazy.
Yeah, you can put a novel in there and you'll get a nice pop-up with the novel in it.
No, you will get a shitty pop-up with a novel in it. You don't want it to be infinite.
Seems subjective to me.
It is absolutely not. A pop-up like that is meant for like a short message being like full screen length. When it popped open, you're like,
oh no, I'm not saying this is correct. I'm trying to figure out how to rein this in so it's just the space you need. Should be able to shrink. Just not sure why. This is the war you alluded to earlier, though, because
this is exactly it.
It was the height. It was the height you had plugged in, which still wasn't correct because it was too tall, right? It was the perfect height for that one pop-up, but not for any of the other pop-ups.
Might have to let this one go, or not. We got time. We still got like an hour and 15 minutes cooking.
I think I just fixed it.
You should make it wider while you're here.
Verifying that I fixed it, and then I can do that.
Verifying? What does that even mean?
Testing. Checking.
Badger, I have no idea where your DM is. Did you send it to my other?
Is it in Twitch?
You did, little minx.
There we go. That looks better.
Thanks, Badger.
So you do want this wider? See?
I think for the relative screen size we're using, it can be a little bit wider. Maybe like 30 to 50% wider. It'll just be a little safer. And then, God forbid, like, our text is very small in the game. Like, even if it just means, wow, I can up the, like, font size. Maybe even just up the font size now.
You're better at the font stuff than I am. Is it this?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's the container. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the font size. I'll mess around with that stuff because a lot of times there's ramifications where I want to change the.
All right. I'll just save that and ship it.
This has become this neat sort of collaborative thing of suffering in here where like Will does some stuff that I absolutely have no business nor do I want to do of like making the thing freaking work. And then I'll go in and be like, let me spend a while with just like this font. And obviously the fonts still don't look fantastic.
Yeah.
But
you pick up where I go, I don't care anymore what it looks like. And
right.
you go, I still care. I have like, caring left.
Your information is present and it does not overrun the box. Deal with it.
Why am I not seeing my changes and I'm in the wrong window? Here we go. no one can see any of this. I know I'm talking to myself. Oh, and I have to pull because I get my wheat data now.
Your wheat data?
My wheat. Okay, if you pull, you should have a better composed pop-up. And if I build and run the game, maybe I can buy
Yeast.
yeast from Tim.
I still so far feel like this is a pushable build with the changes we've done.
Yeah. No, I'm just enjoying the process of reviewing and dotting the I's, so to speak. Like that stupid tutorial message that is less stupid now.
You want continue. Don't you obliterate things. Oh, I just found out something. I didn't change the Chivo icon coming out of the back of the van. Ah.
Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
I need a lot. I need 10 bread, huh? And I gotta get apples going. Okay.
The Chivo's coming out of the back of the van is mega.
It's it's mega.
Yeah.
Oh, is one of these gonna give me apples? Tell me one of these gives me apples. Oh, hey. I would feel really annoyed if I saved up 11 deeds, got the ebony tree and the ebony sapling, but then couldn't grow it.
What if you came back later and this is the only place you could get ebony?
Maybe just give me the tree then and not the sapling.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm hearing a lot of I would feel bad if.
Yeah. What of it?
And
I'm saying that this gives me 2 ebony saplings that I can't use.
I know. What if I told you they were
Okay.
worth $57 each?
I mean, all right, fair enough.
So 100% to validate what you're saying, and this will be a struggle, is like, is it more painful to put that into this early level? And it might be. Like honestly, I put it in there to be a little bit provocative. Might not be cool because you're paying deeds to get it. It may be so early in your arc that you don't really understand the fact that you may not be able to use it. But does this level get any replay value if I don't put anything in as a like later useful thing? Like, will anyone come back to this level if I don't hide even more stuff than that in here?
That's fair.
So I'm walking a weird line, like, and
What
I
if
don't.
it was? I don't know why. Maybe this doesn't change it for anyone but me. But if this was in this far corner, that would feel more like a end game return item than if it was right here in the middle.
I don't think you're wrong. there is a like spectrum though that I'm just gonna have to cope with. That is like
I know I'm on a spectrum.
how of how much later game stuff can I put back into an early game, quote unquote, early game mission. Because I think it would be nice if there was a good reason to come back here, and maybe Ebony's
Yeah.
not it. Like, but like, do I put a stone mill in here? Like, yeesh.
Well, it's a little bit. So here, my problem isn't necessarily that the ebony sapling is unusable. It's that I'm gonna save up 11 deeds. It's the most expensive thing on the map to find that out.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a backhanded abuse of data. You should have known that before
Like,
you before
put that
before I let you change the transmission on my
right. Yeah,
car.
this is the like adventure game thing of show me the locked door before you give me the key. Like, put the saplings in a bit that is cheap, and then I pull them out and I go, huh, can't do anything with these, but at least I can sell them for 54, and I only spent 1D to find that out. And then put the full-blown tree that I can actually like chop down and make super expensive furniture out
Yeah,
of in a 10 deed
but
spot.
if I make that one deed for the saplings, now you're getting two saplings whenever you want them by just coming here and dropping one deed. Like then it becomes a weird
So
moot
maybe
thing.
it's 5. I don't know.
I agree. Like the saplings are the actual problematic part of it. At what point though, like once you get one, maybe like once, maybe this is the line in the sand. The first two levels that you unlock, this and Prospector's Pass, I have to bank on and preferably make it so that I can in good conscience say that you've learned that there are things that you can't do yet unless you are chivoing up like crazy. Um, because at a very quick point after the tutorial, you might have done something or you might not have done something. I agree that like 11 deeds is a pretty brutal way to learn a lesson, and so it's probably inappropriate. But these levels need to be littered with things that you might not be able to do the first time.
Sure. But
I think this one is inappropriate.
yeah. So I feel like I've hit another left turn here because I'm not sure where to get apples on this level.
Oh. Hmm. Hmm. You may be right. You may be right. See, on a simple farm, she sells. That's funny. You know what I did? I overrode sapling apple with sapling avocado. So I was like, oh, be nice if you do. Yeah, all right, all right. Does she sell any? All right. So Sarah here should sell. She's selling the tree plot. She should sell the three, at least the two most simple trees here as saplings. I think that makes sense. Do you agree? Like she should just sell pine saplings and apple saplings.
Yeah. I could see someone like going through this game and trying these different yards, and if they're enjoying it, hitting them pretty hard each time, and then discovering one thing about them. They're like, oh, can't do it. Can't do this now. I'm going to come back later. I don't know that it needs to be more than one thing, though, that I come back to it for.
I think that's probably very fair.
Probably got enough cheese now, huh? We need bread. We need 2 more of those, and some apples. When I said those, what did I mean? Oh, barn plots. Grab another one of these while I'm in here.
Apples and pine saplings, and they're relatively cheap. Yeah, that was just me overriding something. I was like, oh, I won't eat apples here. Very early on. Because the Simple Farm is the one I did first.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good thing that you went here. Gobble up all my. Oh. I almost had her just sell the trees straight up.
I mean,
no, it's not.
I mean, I have a hole that I need to dig for a new tree. And I didn't buy like a sapling. Like we bought like, a tree that's probably been growing for a little while.
I think it's just the sapling of a very large breed of tree. You expect it to grow. Apple, pine, sapling, hot pepper, avocado still in there. Sapling, pine, blah, blah, 4, 3. All right, data builder. I pray to you. You're good. I'm not even gonna verify it. I'm just gonna send it.
YOLO.
For some reason, the level table got changed. Not sure why that happened.
What did you change?
I didn't change it. I don't even have a level.
You changed something, otherwise you'd have nothing to commit. You changed the contents of Sarah's shop. Right?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I mistook it for the
Sarah's
experience
shop is a property of Sarah, and there's a reference to Sarah in the levels table.
Yes. I mistook it for the experience table.
All right. How we doing? We're on our way in terms of bread. A couple minutes on this. You said that's pushed?
It is almost pushed. It is now pushed. What a luxury to be able to hang out, stream, fix bugs before we push something to Steam.
Yeah.
Get an honest playthrough.
Not bad.
Have a very good sense of like where the game is at. If you want to delay it, you could have plots have a potential secondary cost of a character having been unlocked, and if you can't do that, character here that gives a real strong reason to come back. Yeah, I feel like there is like one little kind of bit missing in terms of like why it would be compelling to come back to somewhere. And like right now, I don't mean in the video game Easter egg sense, but like me stashing something in the property to go, oh, that's right, that thing was there before, is like okay, but it's a little, I'll just say a little radioactive as like a way to do it. Where when it doesn't feel right, it feels wrong enough that you're like, I feel like I'm either being tricked if I make a mistake, or it's just a feels bad moment. And I'm not sure. I think I can probably accomplish this with just a more robust and like group of things that are available on the map, and being gentle about it, at least in the first two. I don't care if you play this game and get like 5 Chivos, you played the game for hours. If it ramps up in terms of difficulty, I think on like one of the level descriptions, I think on farm to table, the description might actually get to the point where it's like, "Yo, dog, yeah." The last sentence of the realtor's description of farm to table is, "You may need to bring some processing tools with you." I think where we start to close the loop on this, not fully, but the first two levels out of the tutorial got to be pretty straightforward, more straightforward than they are, which is good because it allows me to push some stuff back. When you actually open the phone up and pick a new yard to go to, having read what you're going into, it being more descriptive, like way more explicit about the property you're going to, um, I think will help with that. Way more explicit than it is now. And then I just have to be a bit gentler with the early levels. But like if you're on your like fourth or fifth level and like it's very divergent in terms of like what you could possibly do, um, I think that's fine. If it's like you just got pooped out of the tutorial, a little much. Congrats on those apples, Will.
It's Apple time.
It is apple time.
Yeah, I just like automatically dismiss that pop up and don't think about what it means. Don't know why that is.
I think along with having a little throb on the deed indicators on the little property plot bits. I think at the same time as those throb, the deeds thing up in the UI needs to also. Some all
Yeah,
go like
I think we have a polished task for that.
once a minute.
Do
It
it
just
something
goes
up there.
whoop whoop, just every couple minutes, every minute.
Sure.
Like, hey, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Apples are on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Peppers, tomatoes. Oh, which I don't actually need anymore. What do I need? What do I actually need? I need another one of those. Another one of these. Okay. Now we've got these. Making bread. Feed the animals. Get the apples. Make more apples. Press the apples. Yes, press the apples. Sell some cheese.
Yeah, make that cheddar.
Stash some of this. I feel like I need that for making more dough. Feed the cows.
I mean, if I hadn't thrown those speed bumps in front of you, you're rolling now.
Ah, yes, thank you, Badger. I do want to get to $1,000 raise.
Cash rules everything around Badger. Cream, get the money. Dollar
True.
bill.
Oh, and on that front, that means I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
Sell it to Sarah.
Yeah. I'm surprised how, not surprised, I'm pleasantly happy with how actual functional this game is. Like, how often do you crash this game?
These are like, I'm like afraid to say out loud the answer because I'm gonna jinx it. I have
Yep.
never crashed.
Yep. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
I think I have crashed this game once.
Really, I want to know how.
I think I crashed this game like way back. I could see if I could dig up the thread on it, but I think I crashed this game like way back, and it was because I had configured something wrong, like that kind of thing.
You're in there hacking.
Yeah. For your descriptions, I'd consider making as many of the requirements into icons, ideally the actual items, and if they're maybe under the map on the realtor screen, get something easy to compare. Yeah, so I've there's something there. Like there's
Which descriptions is he referring to? Do you know?
um like the requirements of like here's the thing. We got to get somewhere with like telling more information so that it's clear, but like that ebony tree and the saplings right now are supposed to be there. And the catch is that like you might not understand that you need them. So on the little properties, like it might make sense for them to just have more information like and I can do it on a per plot basis, but like Will, click the ebony tree plot when you have time.
I'm too busy admiring this pop up. Although
I could see you smile.
it's
Look,
actually kind of
and the little glint in the corner of your eye.
it, it's just novelty, really. The pop up looks different, so I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
There's an awkward amount of space on the side now because this one sentence is actually not that long. Easily we could center the text, but then for multi-line text,
it
you don't want to read
weirdly.
centered text. Like you need the consistent left edge for your eye to return to.
What you want it to do is have a max size that it wraps to, but it will shrink back if the thing's small.
Yeah, and center the whole box. Yeah, there's more to do here, but I'm all right with what we got.
So when you have a moment, click on the ebony tree plot.
Chivo. Oh, we're so close.
Are you? Are you even making the right thing? Doesn't look like it.
What? We're so close. Oh, is this not the right thing? Apple juice. Oh no, we're not close. It's not even the right thing. Wow.
Is it must that you have up there?
Yeah, it's must. I don't have the juice. So okay. All right.
So anyway, before you completely digress, close out of this, please, and click the ebony tree. No, not the game. Please click on the ebony tree plot.
All right. Clicked.
Because of how specific, I spilled coffee all over myself. Because of how specific each plot actually is, like there's nothing procedural happening with that plot except for the fact that the pop-up tells you what things are hidden beneath it. We could add a string here where I can just explain when you pop that thing open that like make sure you can work with ebony. I could do something like that. Could. I'm curious as to your thoughts on
it. Yep.
A resounding endorsement.
Just putting just putting words will do it. We fall back to that. Is there a better way?
Oof. Well,
like we are developing at least some amount of locked iconography for stuff that you can't access.
But you can access it.
These are super small icons, but if they were bigger, there might be room to put a little padlock in the corner of things that you don't have access to. This is more functional. This is
that rewinds to the actual problem where I desperately don't want to do that because we don't know if you can or cannot actually use a thing generically. In the case of ebony saplings, it's like a very one-to-one relationship where you can either grow it or not. But you can sell it. There might be a recipe someday. I know this is a fictitious bad example.
This goes to the world where I need to construct a graph of nodes that represent the relationship between objects and recipes and what could be locked in terms of recipes. And if you have a locked recipe in your tree, then you say, okay, there might be something in this item's crafting tree that you cannot access. But like that relationship could be huge. That relationship could be incredibly distant. I don't know. I agree that I don't want to do that.
Like, should we not? Should we tell you not to buy apple trees because you use apple wood to barbecue with?
No, yeah, yeah.
That
I,
that's
I see
that's
what
where
you
it
mean.
starts getting funky. Is that
Yeah.
like the ebony tree is like nice and one to one. I think there is a thing to do. I think potentially putting a string in for some of the egregious stuff where like obviously ebony's in there kind of like as bait for the future. But as long as I tell you, like, are you sure you can grow ebony trees? Like, obviously not as your buddy Joe
Smart.
voiced. Smarmy, yes, smarmy is that. Are you sure, pal? Um, like whenever you click that one, Badger's sending you a text like, you should make sure that you can you can grow ebony trees if you have that unlocked. Do you have the achievement yet? Yeah, and the string, Joe makes a good point. Like the string being in there just to even tell you informationally a little bit more. Like the stream for panning is
Yeah.
very opaque.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Having more info in there. I'm not arguing that we shouldn't have more info in there. I'm more seeking alternative ways to get that info to you. All right. I have an apple juice problem. How do you make apple juice? Don't tell me. I want to figure it out.
yeah, I have a sinking feeling it might be busted. Sinking feeling only because now, like, I realize how long it's been since I've to gone back to a simple farm.
All right.
So how would you figure out if you can make something?
I mean, this is definitely an area where the game kind of struggles, right? Like, I would be looking for a recipe that says something like I would be looking for a station that says something like good for making juice. That's how I would figure it out.
Or you would own a station and it would have a recipe in it for the thing you would.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
All
hinting.
right.
I'm just saying that
If that's where I'm at, then I don't have a problem. Aha. Aha. Okay.
however,
That was a chip.
however, I'm pretty sure you
I
might
need
be hosed.
cheesecloth. Yeah.
I think
Because typically Karen sells cheesecloth. And I ain't got no Karen. Z, this might be hard. This game might be hard right now. Okay.
this is the pill that was eaten. Was that it? I was always expecting this. In fact, I think in the build notes, it's already like, yeah, there's gonna be some stuff that's like, a little tough.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
Uh,
Advanced trees.
I think though, what routinely keeps coming up is like literally stuff that I could just kind of like push back a bit. I don't mean push back on anyone's opinion.
Like move it earlier in the
Move it later. Like this achievement could literally not require the juice, just requires the must. It means you squeeze some apples.
yeah. All right.
So that's one that requires wheat loaves, cheddar cheese, plant plots, tree plots, and I hope apple must is the item name.
All right. So how do I get Karen? Maury.
You're not getting Karen.
Son of a attracted Karen's attention. Oh my god. All this crazy chef stuff.
The problem with the simple farm is it's not simple enough now. That's what the problem with the simple farm.
Yeah. Yeah, seems okay. Okay. New goal. Burlap sacks. I know I can make barley. I know I can make sweet corn, and I know I can make wheat. And while I'm at it, I might be able to do a millie as well.
Okay. If you do a poll, it should be must now.
I wonder if that will fix my game or not.
I wonder if it will too.
This is you changed the Chivo.
Change the Chivo.
Those don't instance, so it should fix my game.
Running hacks. Yeah. Badger saying growing ebony requires a Chivo. Have you unlocked it? Like every single time you click on that thing.
Sure.
Bzz.
Yeah. I don't hate that solution. It's
the phone buzzing.
I just have a
the phone buzzing.
Bullshit to consider alternatives.
And you absolutely should consider alternatives. Wait a second. You did a poll, and you didn't have Chivos coming out of your truck van.
What?
It's weird. Thought I updated
that.
Oh, you know what? I probably got to hit play. I probably hit play once. No, but I did check it.
Why is that? Why would you have to hit play?
Nah, I was just curious if I did.
All right. Hey, so now I have the Chivo.
Look at that.
All right. But I wanted to get more money. Okay.
The money is like it happened in the other stream. The money is like this amazing pushback. I'm like, now I have all this stuff, so let me do a fire sale. And it's like, yeah, but now you don't have the Chivo.
Yeah. Okay. Do I try that or do I just?
You've got 2 deeds with which you can buy nothing right now, but for like the bargain price of 1 more deed, you'd get enough space to work with. You should not just sell the milk directly. You're not going to get to 1,000 that way. You got to process some shit. Like that milk should just be made into cheese, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Trust me, it's way easier on the other end. Where I was just like, sell everything, and then and come up short.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be methodical about this. Cows. Stand here. Mixer. Don't do anything.
What would Business Will do right now? He'd probably start up what? The mozzarella industrial complex?
Yeah, he would do but cheddar is 4 and mozzarella is also 4. He would do the mozzarella. Because this is 2 milk for 3.
You could also grind flour and sell it to Sarah.
Versus 3 milk. Okay, no, so this is better. My advanced mathematical skills determined that's better.
You can still grind flour and sell it to Sarah if you need to.
Right, I was supposed to keep doing that. Okay. Grind up flour.
You could do it, Will. Go back into money-making mode like you were at the beginning. Shift gears back.
Back into the zone. What I really want to do. But I
need poop.
I do need poop. I really regret not going pigs.
Did you build anything with your workbench?
No.
You actually didn't need your workbench or your hammer.
I rarely do. I often don't build with my workbench. Need 20 a minute.
Isn't that curious?
I need another one of those mixers. One of those. Need another one of these because I have to keep producing feed.
You have enough money for a stone mill. Not that you got the space for it.
Certainly don't have enough space for it.
You have so many composters.
Yeah.
Idling.
It's true. Okay. Two. That gets me nothing. What do we sell? Probably sell some. Can I sell that to you?
I'm tempted to have Sarah sell manure. Or auto sell manure, actually.
Doesn't seem bad. Can't you pick up compost or stuff like that from your DPW?
Could you pick up compost? I mean, you can get rid of cruft for money. That's it.
No, I just mean like in real life.
Oh, in real life, yeah. Well, you have to drive it there. In my case. Oh no, they pick up yard waste, but yard waste is like.
Yeah, that's picking up yard waste.
That's not abstract cruft.
They probably compost it and then use it for their own. But my recycling center, you can drive up and you can shovel mulch into your truck and drive away with it.
No, actually at mine I think you can. I don't think they do mulch. I think they just do
as long as you pick it up.
Stuff.
All right, I really need to unlock myself here. Totally locked. Oh, you know what? I don't need apples.
You know what I would do? You'd have a huge cruft problem, but
you would buy
a sawhorse and chop those trees down. But you gotta make room first.
Sawhorse chop the trees down? Oh god.
Because every tree is going to spit out a bunch of logs. Every log spits out a bunch of boards.
Yeah.
The boards in the van. Or you could just sit there. I mean, you can make cheese and you can, with the stuff that you have, you might want to consider just like, I know it's painful, but like, do you need the apple trees anymore?
No, I might just sell them.
Do you need to grow any new trees?
I need to keep the tree plots.
You do need to keep the tree plots. That's right.
Yeah. I'm just going to sell the trees.
I mean, between cows making cheese and you selling it, and yeah. Was someone buying fertilizer?
I just sold some.
Oh, you just sold? Yeah. It is interesting that like your yard is like a bank or battery for like potential energy in terms of commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff stored in it, it's like, oh, like I need 200 for this, and like if you actually audit your yard, you're like, oh, I have that, or I'm just a couple minutes away from that. Like right now, like corn and barley aren't worth much, but like you just grow it with the space you have and just sell it.
It would be so much easier to just
Throw the trash away.
throw the trash away. Yeah.
I'm gonna replace the ebony with a trash bin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just said something that was like, let's see, let me just write this down.
Something that made you see things from a new perspective.
Well, the ebony we know is like problematic. The trash bin is valuable. It literally was like a need you registered right now. Like if I could do that right now, I'd think about it. That's kind of interesting to me and doesn't feel as advanced, but does have value. Like if you come in and play through this and you leave with that trash bin, you got it now. Like that's kind of cool. It has more broad utility. And I still might put a plot in that just has ebony trees in it, but like put it in the corner. Actually, I think I have a plot. Oh yeah, what I'll do is I'll double down. I think I made a new plot that has there's one with mulberry and birch, one with almond and chestnut. Maybe I'll make a big plot, big ass plot, and put ebony on it with like something else obscene. I can't remember if it's like chestnut or one of the other woods that's like very valuable.
All right, where am I at now?
I also have little to no sympathy for
One.
like I wish I could get this many achievements in one run.
Oh yeah, like
Like,
if you need to play that hard, like go for it, man.
like go for it, but it's gonna take you a while, and you're gonna really be chess gaming it. Like if you insisted that you should be able to get Tuesday on this one, I'd be like, probably not. Per Joe, that also feels like a good mechanic and trade-off decision to introduce here as players have gotten into the loop of selling things, how they're relatively quickly get an alternative disposal path with different pros and cons. Yeah, I think it's just better. It's more thoughtful as a thing to plop. The point of ebony, I don't disagree with. The actual what it means when you put it in here, not as good. And good lord, you'd be all cleaned up for simply the cost of money right now. In fact, you may be going slow. You are. You're probably going to get to 1,000 cash money later by not using the trash bin, and I think that's fantastic.
I accept that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like at what cost? Do I need tomatoes? No. All right, what else can I do? Oh, I need to be doing this much more frequently. Oh, and I need more corn.
You've reorganized your property for profit building.
I've squirreled away the important Chivo items in the corner here.
Now, at present, any location, by that I mean your yard or your van or a set of shelves, or if I make a barn that you can go inside, any of those can carry the stuff that you need for achievements, and any crafting will draw from any of them. What you're doing right now tells me we need something that is either a plot on the ground or a building that I could put stuff in that I don't craft from. I feel like right now, if you had a thing that you could put your bread into where you wouldn't accidentally make burgers out of it. By the way, given the fact that you have cheddar, cows, bread, I wouldn't do it now, but like you were making burgers.
Very close to burgers, yeah.
And as Badger points out,
3 deeds.
you have 3 deeds.
Yes, yeah, I saw. What would I? Oh,
I like the risk. I like the risk, says Badger. Oh, I love it. Love it. If you want to do it right, do it right. Like, I may on principle. Just take some things that are chats and make them badger texts. Like if you haven't unlocked a piece of property in a while, it goes like, you also have end deeds. Just like a little reminder. Just saying. Every once in a while, Badger sends you a text. I like the risk.
That could be so good at the right time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, add some
Like, and it doesn't
personality
even
in.
have to be something that we like logically timed. Like, just getting that,
Yeah.
getting that text out of the blue, it'll get people thinking. That's for sure.
And it allows to give the different characters like a different voice and give them some personality in a very playful way. Sarah's gonna sound funny.
I think I'm more in sell off distance now.
You are getting there.
I don't have 20. Oh man, wheat just like piles up. You don't have to grow a lot of wheat to have a ton of wheat that needs processing.
It does. Wheat and I think tomatoes, to a lesser extent, are both very sweet. Corn is, and barley also. Like if you grow them, you're getting a decent amount of seeds out of them. But wheat doesn't require water,
Right.
and so like you're just like, all right, let's do this. Like if you need a soft
I have
start,
literally one wheat left.
oh, you got the good one too. That buying them for 42.
Oh, is that on a
It's a,
little bit of RNG? Oh yeah, and this is only 15 this
yeah,
time.
and they're different amounts.
All right,
Like
so that stuff all has to stay, but
so, she was only paying 105% on 20. She pays 110% elsewise on the other two, but won't buy as much from you. You're precariously close.
yeah, it's probably just time to start selling all sorts of things.
Yeah. Pardon the pun, but selling things willy nilly.
But I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell things that
You're
I'm going
still
to take
you're
with me.
still going to a new yard.
Yeah, exactly. All right. 2, maybe even 3 Chivos satisfied. That's the other thing I was going to do. Exclude my completed Chivos from the list. I don't think it's going to award me another extra 100 starting
Good.
cash money, but it might.
Oh,
And also I want to. What?
have you packed your van?
No,
Okay.
no. Good call. I was going to auto check these two and just go.
Yeah, you were.
All right. You.
You should take the magnet with you.
My heirloom composters. I will take the magnet, but I need it to load up first. What else? This thing is useful.
Badger, it's not always about do the most broken thing possible. Not always. Sometimes things have to work.
All right, what else do I want? Magnet. 2 more slots. Oh, a well. So nice.
I got to make that well not transferable.
You hate that.
In fact, I thought I did at one point.
Doesn't even offend me. Like I think what I'm doing is normal.
I know. In the Matrix.
What comes with?
It should not be puttable in the yard. I did change that. It should not go in the van. You got a bug.
Okay.
It's allowed location should be your yard, and that's it.
Guess I'm bringing
One barley with you.
one barley. Yeah.
Are you thinking about what things are worth? I would take poop. Stink that van up.
Nah.
You're taking 50 composters.
You're right.
At least it lets you.
Posters in no poop.
At least it lets you get a pull on that thing. I would take two. Ditch one of those plant plots. You do whatever you want, Will.
You're right. I don't need all 4 plant plots. All right. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, did you unlock a whole new map?
Yep. Yeah, I took a snip of everything I got. Yeah, it was on there.
I'm gonna come up with a more generic icon for that. A scroll.
I like Prospector's Pass because it's a change of pace, but we did unlock Farm to Table.
You should play it the way you want. They're not going anywhere. They're not leaving.
I am loaded up for farming. Let's go. All right, and I remember once upon a time I was here and I did not have this, so that's good.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah. You know what? Might need a minute though. Might need a minute to sort that to the bottom.
That aggravating. I think you're right. It's like,
What do we already have? How do I get what we have? This is actually something I can just get.
200 was correct because you got 100 from Tim's Trust and 100 from Cream. Good callback, Badger. And yes, right now in the build, someone can just go level to level and just collect blingos and sell them for that achievement. It's not that great an accomplishment. I don't care if anyone does. Money's not the only thing.
Sorry, I'm forcing people to watch me do this.
This will. There's nothing wrong with that. You're literally going in, seeing something that you don't want in the build, fixing it. That's what it's all about. I mean, I was doing it off camera, but like, there's gonna be plenty.
I was tipped in a way that wasn't boring.
Well, there are gonna be people that watch this that like this is interesting for. It's interesting to me to actually watch you just code through it. It's a good solution to an accidental sale of everything. So the main thing we're trying to solve here is that when you go to a new level, things you've completed
Oh, I have to do it then.
Especially, and the Tim's Trust one is like a classic case of like I took the magnet with me and it's just gonna sit there up at the top. It's gotta go. Sure, it's possible to go from 0 to 200 cash money to a new plot. If everything was missing and you had 200, what would you do? You go, you just get, you buy what you needed to get started. So, the very least, you'd be able to probably buy. So Tim is supposed to be an absolute like bootstrap rescue guy. So Tim sells at the very least water, plant plots. Often sells, sometimes sells feed. Sometimes sells you uh, pine planks. But with that stuff, as long as you can go to someone else, as long as like Sarah's available, you can start working with seeds. You can generally, except for a new level that I'm making, go to the hardware store, get like workbench or sawhorse. I think the hammer's in there somewhere, probably, maybe not. Maybe in some cases it is, maybe in some cases it's not. You can get planks there, nail screws. Like you can get something going. Um, I'd buy a few things to go to a new yard. I think that's entirely fair. Like once you've gotten those couple chivos, we're saying that a couple $100, a couple hundred cash money between friends, no biggie. Um, is it elegant? Probably not. Um, but it's doable. The other thing I'm gonna do is replace the blingos with other things that show up on your property when you start, like a few trees here and there. Um, on one level it might be like a pack of seed or two, couple little things like that, so that if you really had to, there's just like a little bit of junk there to get rid of for money. Might plop a little cruft in here and there. Um, but like, and the hope is that pretty quickly, like no matter what, if you complete the tutorial, which we're going to force on you, you'll start with 100. Pretty quickly, you can get the cream achievement, which gets you to 200. Um, I'm not sure how early the first deed one is, but like the maps should probably have enough where you shouldn't have to restart or just move out unless you really went somewhere you shouldn't have and really didn't bring the stuff you needed. That's the hope, at least. Like that's how it's balanced. So we also have this concept of the levels appearing in buckets, and we haven't labeled them and we haven't organized them in a way because there's only 3 so far. But I can imagine a certain point at which the first column, the first slot machine entry, is the easy levels, where we take the same sort of approach of like discussing a simple farm right now. We're like, yeah, ebony's not appropriate here, but maybe a trash can is. Or you really should start with this, or you really should be able to like go in and just sort of get started. And maybe there's hard achievements that would be really impossible to get here, but easy to medium ones you probably could. And then have the middle column be like, mid difficulty, and have the last column just populate with things that are like very nuanced levels where like I've played the game a lot. The description of the level somewhat tells me what I might need. The shops are set up in an interesting way where like, oh, like there is no Sarah. Like, woof. What do I do about that? But there are achievements that go like, oh, okay, well, like you produce, more seeds or something like that. Or you unlock recipes that are literally just for like, what if you could just cultivate seeds? Like if you had a seed bin and you could put seeds in it and get more seeds, or put the plants in it and get more seeds but no output, like that kind of stuff in there, so that this weird level plays differently. Right now, there's no real teeth on easy, medium, hard. How do you
Sorting functions are
sweet?
um, not easy to talk and listen during the writing of.
Oh, you were actually listening to me? I was just trying to do VO in the background.
No, I'm saying I wasn't. I couldn't process what you were saying.
Good.
Hopefully this works though. If this doesn't work, I could just rip them out of the list for now. But I think I sorted them to the end.
Well,
I
we'll
hope I
see.
sorted them to the
It'd
end.
be nice. Will, I think the total model count on my army for tomorrow is 94 models.
Oh my god, that's tomorrow. I have so much building I need to do.
94
94 models?
models. If I owned more Poxwalkers,
Shite,
I could
it's
have
right
bigger.
there. That's not where it's supposed to be.
That didn't do it at all.
No, I didn't do it at all.
Thankfully, it didn't do anything weird, but like.
Did I just get these mixed up? If this was completed and this is not completed, this one wins. Oh, I think I did have them inverted.
It's 1,000-point game, Badger. 94 models on that 1,000-point game.
I still think comparison functions are confusing.
Given how people are attracted to different paths and items, seeing how Will goes one way and you're gassed at the choice, and why he isn't doing something completely different, easy, medium, hard might be tricky to tease out. Easy, medium, hard would be. You're 100% correct. But easy, medium, hard would mostly be a reflection of. I agree with you that sometimes you're just going to be forced out of like your normal game plan, but I am absolutely doing deliberate things in later levels. Like the one that I'm working on right now. Check my on napkin design or in Miro design. Called Wide Open Spaces. It's 60 by 60, which is like huge, relatively speaking. But there's no DPW and there is no hardware store. That's hard. That's pulling out some like very core things. Now, I don't even know, like what's interesting about that is that like you have to call that out. For someone like me who's going to run a trash bin's useless there unless I show up with trash vouchers. So like I might go to that level if I know that and just like
It's still
put my trash bin back there and fill the rest up with trash vouchers and go and just see how I do. But at that point, I can't buy a workbench. That is like more of a deliberate designy thing as opposed to just where I think the difference between me and Will mostly covers the organic difficulty in it. But you're right. Like if someone is used to doing X, Y, and Z, and that is what I consider like a nuanced removal of something, to them that's pretty hard. Now they're going like having a game with so many things and so many menus means you learn your own shorthand of like how you get started. Like it was the reason I asked when Will was getting started, like, what are you doing? What are your goals? He wasn't even looking at Chivos yet. He's like, I'm gonna get this party started. Because he's got a way of doing that and like a short list of when he shows up to Bootstrap, rocking that out. So I definitely agree with you. But I think Easy will be able to determine hard will be easy to determine, and medium is where everyone's going to hate me. Because that's where it gets a little loosey goosey.
So I've got the completed Chivos sorted to the bottom. It just reads weird because I do this thing where I store and display your progress towards the different items.
Yeah.
And the logic right now is the same for whether I've completed it or not.
Yeah.
So it looks even though cream is down at the bottom here, it looks like I've got to get $1,000 more bucks to complete it, which is
Yeah.
not true.
It has just been placed at the bottom. It has not been given a treat.
Right.
Maybe you should don't worry about it for this build. I think that's fine for this build. But
well, I think it would be more. I kind of think it would be more fine. The easier thing I did earlier, which was just not show the Chivo in this list. Doesn't have to be forever that way, but I think that's less confusing.
But then there's no way to know which ones you got. For now, fuck them. Pardon my French. My first F-bomb of this stream. I guess what I'm saying is we have to solve for this better before the next build goes out. The next one. I think what's going to happen is
what I want is for those the breakdown to just be all correct.
What I think the best thing to do is have a button or a tab or whatever where your completed ones go.
Yeah, I know.
And so you can disappear them now.
Yeah.
And then find a nice place to put them.
All right.
I think disappearing them is the best way to go in the very short.
Yeah. That's we've arrived at the same place. I am gonna test that one more time, and then I'll push it up.
Where are all those red dots on the bottom?
Don't worry about that.
Are those encouragement texts from Badger?
These are null reference exceptions.
You know we gotta throw a text in from somewhere that's like Maury giving you a null reference exception on your phone, just saying it, texting.
That's very I am error.
Yeah, it's also very like I copy pasted the wrong thing.
I'm not really sure what these null refs are, but if they continue, well, I'll have to look at
it. that was an engineer quote for all times. Not sure what these null references are, but if they continue, I'll have to look at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us more about small icons next to Chivo's Badger.
I think, if I'm interpreting this, that they'd be like a check next to the ones that are done.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Okay, I didn't get million null refs. I looked at the Chivo list. I don't see the Chivos I've already gotten. Queuing up to get burlap sacks.
Is what you did checked in?
Not yet.
Check it in. I will then pull and start to build. I think we're there. We're there enough for our pleasant cohort of people who have access to the game to actually.
Oh man, how does it feel to go from pulling new code to pushing a new version of the game up to Steam in like minutes?
pretty good. I mean, it's the other argument for making simple games, though. Like at a double A studio, you'd be regressing the daylights. Not even regressing. You'd be like having what people would be doing right now is in our office somewhere pulling this build down and praying that 2 hours was enough to test the game to possibly consider putting it to Steam.
Yeah.
And obviously our rigor will change when this is
I
like,
would have gotten blocked from changing the sorting stuff. They would have said,
oh yeah, I've been like, nope.
no, we'll put it in the known issues. Don't do it. That'd be sad.
Build like the wind. Change names to blah blah blah. Say blah 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 blah.
Where will my composting zone be? There.
Show me what you got.
Sell these.
Debug information don't ship. Craft exe, and I am going to open the game and do a few things in it.
Ah.
Got that.
All right. Oh, I forgot to pull this text out.
It's too late, buddy.
Just ship has sailed. Ah, good thing I brought this poop.
Good thing I brought this poop. All right. It runs.
What do I need?
All right.
Oh, you want to buy some dope
steam pipe. The auth on this has been improved. The steam pipe tool.
Yeah.
Now all I get now is a thing saying, "Hey, approve or deny." I don't have to actually put in a password anymore. Like before, it was like, "Hey, give me a 5-digit code," and it was kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But now it literally just puts a notif that I can tap once into and say yes to because it is me.
That's cool.
73 chunks uploaded. All right. Let's see here. Steamworks. I am me. I want this link instead. No, I want.
Oh, Artesian corn stuff.
The Chivo build is present. Push it to default. Preview the change. Yeehaw. Set build live now. Okay. To build blah 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 blah. I'm going to close that. I will exit Steam. Waiting for Craft to shut down, like always. I'll reopen Steam. Under my other account? Sure, why not? Library. I don't even know if I have Craft on this account. I think I do. I think I gave myself a key. I didn't. Oh, that's hilarious. I should probably fix that now. Nah, I won't. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it that way. In case, so I can buy it from myself down the road. All right.
Nice. Gotta support the local businesses, you know.
Scan a QR code. Yeah, that's me. I'm pleased so far with Steam's defenses. Even though apparently they had some sort of breach a while ago, but they basically said it wasn't as bad as people thought. All right, Cruft. Let's see. Right click properties. Installed files. Verify integrity of game files. I think it updated. play.
I see you playing.
Chivo's coming out the back of the van. It appears to work. Does it? When I click Chivo or Realtor, nothing happens.
Okay. Show me your logs. How come I don't experience that?
Are you playing the build or are you playing an editor?
I was playing a build.
Really?
I had the build and run thing. I'll do build. Well, I know that build doesn't work.
Where are my logs again? It's in no, not craft content. It's in local low, go on entertainment craft, right?
Yeah, app data.
All right. Do. You might need to get on Discord.
I'm gonna. Okay.
Down the wire.
This is fun.
It is. This might be an extended journey.
Yeah, we might be. All right.
He's not present in the dictionary.
Usually a problem.
Yeah.
Where did this file go?
It is kind of neat how not really super. It's nice being small. Like we literally just pushed a build of the game up on Steam that you could play, but you can't actually leave that level.
Yeah, it's not a good build, is it?
It's not a good build.
Oh, God, what happened? All right, so here we are. Right after opening the Chivo app, key not found in the meta progress controller. That makes sense. Trying to get meta state for meta content. Is this just a new?
That would
Is
be
this just
awesome,
a
Badger.
new game problem?
Could be. We were running into new game issues for a little bit there too, weren't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is what I hit. But strangely, you didn't run into it.
Right.
Fired up again.
The progress thing.
I need to click more things when I test it before I send it up, apparently. Though I was totally unexpected.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a test plan or whatever.
Like I did click several things, but I didn't check the realtor.
Oh, I was like looking for line numbers, and it's not going to show me those.
You should also note.
It gives me this garbage.
You should also note that I think Tim was available from the start. Is he always before you even hammer anything?
Yeah.
Oh no, he is. You just don't have the stuff. You don't have any money. That's right. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we are getting the meta state for whatever happens right after you open the Chivo app, which is probably Chivo state. I think this is probably just loosey-goosey dictionary access on my end. Here's the message. Oh, and then we immediately dump into the function that I just changed.
Ah. Whoa.
Can I repro this problem by doing something like this?
You just like obliterate your state?
Yeah.
Down with the state. My poor personal account has this game on wishlist.
Gonna have to wait.
I know.
Yeah,
You hit it?
I did.
With it
Yeah.
being this quiet, I can hear all kinds of weird. I think it's your mouse, or maybe you typing things.
Oh, it's probably the extremely loud music. I was just deafened by
Oh, nice.
big
Sweet.
bouncy anvil. Yeah, I know what to do. Sure.
Sweet. Coding under pressure.
Yep.
There are millions, excuse
Literally
me,
the line I just added.
tens of thousands, excuse me, a small handful of people right now that if we had told them the build was out, that said, Badger, one happy customer makes it all worthwhile. Is it a singleton thing?
No.
No.
No, it's so dictionaries are key value storage. So you have a key in your dictionary. It's like literally like Webster's dictionary that you looked up words with if you are a kid of a certain age, and it uh, is indexed. You look up things by one key, and if that key is not in your dictionary, you get an exception.
Mm-hmm.
So the safe way to do it is with this try get model or this try get concept rather than just raw get me the thing by this name. So with try get, you can handle the case where the thing's not present. It's pretty normal.
You're saying if this thing is toxic, don't eat it.
Yeah. Nope, it just slipped my mind.
I dig it. 94 models and typhus is one.
God, yeah, I know. Well, this is like my bugbear to slay, like the whole like typhus with a buttload of poxwalkers problem.
And that buttload just got bigger. It's like two butts. It's going to be a quagmire. You're going to be struggling for every inch of movement.
Maybe I'm calling in sick tomorrow. I can't see your face because of the way our stream setup has to be, but I hope you're laughing.
I am.
And also, hopefully, I fixed it, and then we can do the dance again.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Just a little bit is popping through. All right, so I will.
All right. Let me put that up.
Yeah, now my updates in main menu is like sitting here lurking in my stage changes. It's so weird. Oh, heave!
All right. It should be available now.
Fix loosey goosey dictionary access. I love it.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Push that. And then I'll pull once just for justice. Give it a tug, so to speak. Make sure I grabbed everything. Oh yeah, that's right. Back open. Build again. Build like the wind. It's like 5 seconds at most to build the thing. It's fantastic.
It's faster than reloading the project when I make a code change. that last reload was like 30 something seconds.
Reset progress. Yeah, he's open. Application rejected. Let's check the boxes. Love it. All right, quit. It did tell me John Hancock in the signature.
It could not connect to Steam in the way you are testing. That happens to me when I test a build.
All right.
That happens to me also when I like make an actual build. It's also why you won't be accruing XP right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's that old thing. All right,
all that. All that stuff, because until you do whatever your voodoo is or some step that I don't understand yet happens, the game isn't like hooked up to the Cruft app ID. It works in testing because we have that little cheat file that
right.
that the Steam
that's how Steam allows itself to be Steam, is that you can't just take a build of a game. I can't copy that.
They have to do their own whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm heading up to Prospector's Pass. I don't deserve to be here. I don't even have a magnet. Got no money.
2 new chunks uploaded. I'm blowing chunks, man.
Oh, I can't even interact with these shopkeepers. But business bills ready to buy.
Indeed.
He's open for business. Awesome.
Live now. Yes. Okay. We're working. Open Steam. Disconnected. Allegedly change account.
Oh no. I can't.
Can't what?
I can't complete the tutorial. I left early and then went to Prospector's Pass.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything, so I left again, punched in the cheat code for the tutorial
Oh
level.
no. You need to start
But
fresh.
I don't have a magnet, so I can't drag the hammer to the exit. No, I don't have a hammer, so I can't drag the hammer to the exit.
You have to start fresh.
It's great. Wait. Stop.
The only thing that resets your progress.
Yeah.
Is the main menu, which is good and safe and right and proper. Craft update queued. I like it. I like it. New game. Yeah. 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 Yay. All right. So what the stuff that is up on Steam, if you have a key, is proper.
Asterisk, as far as we know.
That's, I mean, it's what we intended to be. Come heck or high water. Badger, you are welcome to play wrong, but there's probably more you'll find by playing unlobotomized than the
we
things
know
you.
that the tutorial needs work, so messing around in the tutorial, finding ways to break it, isn't that helpful right now.
Yeah, like just piecing out. I mean, you're welcome to do what you like, but like just piecing out of it, we already kind of know where that goes. In fact, we'll just kind of proved it out. But do as you like. And if you want to play multiple times, go for it. If any folks are out there and are like, man, I would love to test the daylights out of the game, you can always get in touch with me through our Discord. And we still haven't given out too many keys yet. In fact, I'm going to send one out to Chris Beatrice and see what he thinks.
Cool.
Next time is trash bin testing. Chivo's like third yard, take nothing. Yeah, exactly. The third one, you're playing the TV show Alone, where you just get dumped off by a helicopter somewhere. Actually, even in that show, you show up with like 8 or 10 things. But yeah, Steam is now up to date. I have a couple little cleanup tasks to do, like change the build notes from work in progress to not. But folks, we've gone 15 minutes into overtime. I'll have my Chivo unlocks to go. Yeah, exactly. It's exciting. It's like this build finally feels less like purely a toy and more like, hey, it's got a game with progression in it, stuff like that. We are zeroing in. I've been saying this for a while, but now we're like precariously close. The next build we do may be the early access build. Could be. I know it sounds a little freaky, but we're gonna play through this one a bit, get some feedback on it, and then probably make a punch list of like what we think is necessary. And we'll see. So into the great wide open. I think that's it for the week. Will start building. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah. See you then.